I'm Janet Simons with Chehalis Valley Realty. I'm a real estate broker there and here in Lewis County, and I'm here with Scott Hamilton from Hamilton Appraisals. Thanks for joining me, Scott.
It's a pleasure.
Hey, you bet. I sure appreciate it. Say, today we'd like to talk a little bit about appraisals. Can you tell me what is an appraisal?
Well, an appraisal is an opinion by one individual to determine the fair market value of a subject that's selling. Keep in mind that the appraiser has to be well trained, has to have gone through his apprenticeships, has to pass a whole lot of tests and so on before he becomes qualified. But then again, it's only one person's opinion of what the market value is.
Right, and you have to have a license to be an appraiser, correct?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
And it has to be renewed every 2 years, and you have to have continuing educational classes all the time to go and keep it.
Right, right. Now, an appraisal is different than an assessment. An assessment is something that's done by the county assessor,
That's
correct?
correct. Assessments come about to determine values, and they do what they call a mass appraisal approach, which is an indication of value, but not necessarily the correct value, as we rely more closely to comparable sales, where they may, on the county level, be looking at a mass appraisals for the entire area.
Broad spectrum. Yours
broad
is
spectrum.
specific.
Specific.
Correct. Okay. So when is an appraisal needed?
Appraisals are needed for all kinds of things, and people don't always realize that you think of an appraisal when you think of getting a home loan.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also needed on a refi, if you're going to just refinance your home for some cash. It could be a bank REO property that the bank owns. They're trying to determine value. But we can go beyond that, because appraisals, I'd say 50% of my work is done with bankruptcies, divorces, guardianships. Whenever there's a need to determine a value, they call an appraiser to give that. So,
I didn't realize that it was that broad, I guess, and the needs for it.
It's
interesting.
Here in Lewis County, I'm spending about 50% of my time right now working with other clients besides banks.
Interesting. Well, typically, who hires an appraiser then?
The appraiser is hired by the client, whoever that might be. So it varies. So if a bank is going to order an appraisal because of the new laws, they have to order their appraisal through what they call an AMC, an appraisal management company. Now that management company then selects the appraisers on their list, so there's no collusion going on between the banker and the appraiser. On the other hand, if I'm dealing with attorneys, the attorneys can just order them directly from the appraiser they choose.
Can a private party just hire an appraiser?
Oh, that happens all the time. In fact, just completed one today where a party came by and looked at a house and said, we'd sure like to buy it from you, so they've agreed that if I ran the appraisal on it, that would be the purchase price, and so I'm just finishing that up right now.
Nice.
Those are a little scary, by the way, because they haven't had the opportunity to be exposed to the open market.
Right. See, I only look at it from the real estate broker aspect, so this is learning for me.
Yeah.
So that's who pays for the appraisal too then, is the client. Whoever orders it typically pays for it.
It's usually just whoever the client is. If the bank orders it, they pay into the AMC, and then the AMC pays us. If we order it through the attorney, who is our client, then they pay us. In divorces, sometimes you get paid by the husband or the wife. The guardianship is usually paid by the attorney. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, every appraisal I've done, I've been paid for. There's been a couple exceptions along the way, but
it's always nice to get paid for what we do. Definitely.
We don't ask for any money until the appraisal is complete. Okay. And so yeah, you're going to get burned once in a while, but very, very seldom. Lewis County is a great place to live.
It sure is. Well, I sure appreciate you joining me today and shining a little bit of light on appraisals. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Jen.
Mm-hmm.